Hello. Here we are 1 week on from my horse's rather sudden and shocking death, and according to the blood tests, the most likely cause is either he ate sycamore, which I don't see could be possible because we didn't have any sycamore and we've had horses in that field for 20 years without any problem. But anyway, that's what the vet said. Either that or he did too much work after a long break. He didn't do any work because um, he was an old man. He was 26 years old, and I didn't actually work him. I hadn't worked him at all. So, but according to the blood tests, and some of the results were just some of the values were pretty high, and others were too low. And they said, well, according to this, it looks as though it's an equine myopathy. So who knows? We'll never know now. The fact is, yes, he's not there anymore. So the question is, how do we dispose of the body? It's a charming theme, but well, we decided we're going to cremate him. We cremated my mother's horse 4 years ago or 5 years ago, and for an animal that's carried me over thousands of kilometers in the 22 years I had him, I think that's the least we could do. He carried me without killing me, without severely maiming me. I loved him very much, and therefore I think cremation is the only real possibility. I saw once, not very pretty, how a newborn foal, stillborn, I saw how we had to call the knackers. They grabbed the foal by the leg, and I saw how they hauled him into the back of the lorry full of stinking carcasses already, and that's just not something I wanted ever to see again, let alone dispose of one of our horses that way. So cremation it is. It's just far more dignified than any of the other options. All I can say, the only good aspect of all this is that his suffering didn't last a very long time. And I suppose it's just as well that it ended like this. That's the only way to see it, really. Because if it really was equine myopathy, that means he was in extreme pain, and he would have taken a very many months maybe to recover from it, because myopathy, for some of you out there might know, it means a destruction of muscle cells, which means he would have lost an awful lot of muscle mass, and he already had very little top line because of his previous condition, Cushing's. So I don't know what he would have looked like once he'd recovered from this ailment. And he was 26, and so I suppose I have to see it as probably the best thing for him. It's kind of hard to see it that way at the moment, but there it is. Life goes on. The horses now have to find a new pecking order because my horse was top dog for as far as I can remember. So now I think it's our heavy horse, the male, who's going to take his place. He was always fighting it out with my horse, but my horse wasn't having any of it. So now he's number one. He'll be happy. Years ago, my mother discovered these brilliant nose bags and bought them off a woman from the States, so on the internet. And they mean no waste, because you just clip them in two places, one behind the ear and one along the neck, and the bag is sewn towards the back. So anytime the horse chucks his head up, the food just goes to the back, and when the horse puts his head back down again, it falls back to the front. It's brilliant. There's really no waste. You just get them made to measure. And the only trouble is we can't contact the woman anymore. I'm not sure if she's still alive, so I don't know who else makes this sort of thing. Even this little mare, who was very head shy when we got her, has got used to this in no time at all. Of course, where there's food involved, things get easy. So next week for 2 days, the painter is going to come to paint the ceiling, and the 2 days after that, the parquet guy is going to come and do the whole floor here with Parquet Versailles. And the weekend after that, we're meant to be celebrating in this very room my mother's birthday. So I hope the two men will have finished their jobs. And I also hope my mom doesn't see this video because it's a surprise.